All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have finally made it. We have gotten to the point where there is now going to be confirmed from Warner Brothers brand new Lord of the Rings films that will supposedly honor the past, look to the future, and adhere to the strongest level of quality. I am going to be so unbelievably excited for this. You guys have no idea because I already know there is a high probability that this is going to be some of the worst stuff we're going to see in our modern times. I can only imagine how they're going to want to up Amazon's Rings of Power in terms of overall fail. I mean, this is going to be fail of I don't even know anymore, man. I don't even know. I'm so excited. But let's play devil's advocate really quick, okay? Warner Brothers, just because Warner Brothers Discovery is doing something doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be bad. Just like when Amazon does something doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be bad. But there is a extremely high probability that this will most likely be bad because the people that are behind this are not going to be doing it with the right mindset. Warner Brothers Discovery is known to be extremely woke, even though they have been recently taken over and kind of like reorganized. At the end of the day, there are still people there that have massive influence that want to do identity politics, and I almost would guarantee that we are going to see some nonsense in some new Lord of the Rings movies. Now, it also depends on which Lord of the Rings films they decide to do. If they're going to remake the original trilogy or they're going to remake The Hobbit, I'm not really sure. If they're going to try to do something brand new that retells a story perhaps in the Second Age, who really knows? But I really don't know what they plan to do, and because of that, it kind of leaves everything up in the air. But let's see what this article from Bounding Into Comics has to say. So it says, Warner Brothers Discovery to create new Lord of the Rings films that will honor the past, look to the future, and adhere to the strongest level of quality. Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav announced during the company's Q4 2022 earnings call that the company will be making multiple new The Lord of the Rings films. Zaslav said today, I am thrilled to announce that Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi signed a deal to make multiple Lord of the Rings movies. Lord of the Rings is one of the most iconic storytelling franchises of all time, and we're so excited. Following Zaslav's announcement on the earnings call, DeLuca and Abdi issued a statement to Variety indicating that Tolkien's Lord of the Rings world remains largely unexplored. Okay. Is this? I'm sorry if I sound giddy, but I am unbelievably happy because you know what this means, right? You know this means that this channel is gonna grow exponentially because of this, man. It's gonna grow exponentially because when they come out with garbage, I can already tell by the way they're talking. Oh, Tolkien's world is largely unexplored. That means that they're gonna take little bits here and there that they want to take, and they're gonna create some nonsense around it. I guarantee you. So let's continue forward. It says the duo detailed that New Line Cinema and director Peter Jackson took an unprecedented leap of faith to realize the incredible stories, characters, and world of The Lord of the Rings on the big screen. But for all the scope and detail lovingly packed into the two trilogies, the vast, complex, and dazzling universe dreamed up by J.R.R. Tolkien remains largely unexplored. On top of DeLuca and Abdi's comments, Lee Guinchard, CEO of Freemode, the company that holds the rights to The Lord of the Rings when it comes to films, video games, board games, merchandising, theme parks, and stage productions, also told the outlet, following our recent acquisition of Middle-earth Enterprises, we're thrilled to embark on this new collaborative journey with New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers Pictures, bringing the incomparable world of J.R.R. Tolkien back to the big screen in a new and exciting ways. He added, we understand how cherished these works are, and when working together with our partners at New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers Pictures, we plan to honor the past, look to the future, and adhere to the strongest level of quality and production values. Now, again, this is the same shit that Amazon was saying when they took over and did the Rings of Power. This is the same exact thing. They started off saying that they're going to respect the source material, right? Then as time went on and the trailers started to come out and they were caught completely lying about respecting the source material, then it became, oh no, we were just inspired by the source material. Then it became, oh no, we're actually writing the book that Tolkien never wrote. So how long is it going to take before they start saying the same thing here in this scenario? Like I said, I would love to give Warner Brothers Discovery the benefit of the doubt, but unfortunately, they just haven't earned it. Just like everybody else in Hollywood, they haven't earned the benefit of the doubt from any of us, so I don't know why anybody would give it to them. It says Warner Brothers Discovery and New Line Cinema did not announce what they would be adapting for these new films or who would be involved in bringing them to the big screen creatively. However, Variety notes that they are keeping Peter Jackson and his original The Lord of the Rings collaborators Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens in the loop. The trio informed Variety that Warner Brothers and Freemode have kept us in the loop every step of the way. They also added, we look forward to speaking with them further to hear their vision for the franchise moving forward. Warner Bros. Discovery is currently working on an adaptation of the story of Helm Hammerhand titled The Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim. The anime-inspired film adapts a short story Tolkien included in the appendices of The Lord of the Rings. Well, the problem is, if you guys realize, the one who's in charge of directing the Lord of the Rings, the War of the Rohirrim, if you realize who's in charge of that, you realize that that guy is woke as hell. He's been having tirades on his Twitter feed nonstop, and it's not giving me a lot of faith in whether or not that film, that anime adaptation, is going to be any good. I hope it is, because I love anime. You guys know that. But I really just am getting a little worried when people like that start going off on their tirades, and it's like, dude, shut the hell up. Stick to the actual movie you're trying to create. Stop talking about identity politics on your Twitter feed. Stop talking about politics, just period. Stop talking about it. Like, what are you doing? Focus on your creativeness. Focus on what you're trying to make here. It says it follows Helm Hammerhand as he defends Rohan from a number of enemies, including Corsairs, the Dunlendings, and enemies of Gondor that landed in the mouths of Lefnui and Isen. After an initial defeat at the hands of his rival, Wolf and the Dunlendings, Helm and his forces flees to the Hornburg, where they not only deal with a siege, but also the long winter. While Helm and his forces attempt to survive, Wolf and his forces attack Helm's son, Haleth, at Edoras and take the city after losing his second son in a sortie to find food after the long winter had set in at Hornburg. Helm would single-handedly wage a war of terror on the enemies besieging the fortress. The film is expected to arrive in theaters on April 12, 2024. Again, I'm not really sure, man. I'm worried. I'm worried because it is Warner Bros. Discovery, and I feel like we're going to have another Rings of Power on our hands, just in movie form. That's the only difference. And I would almost guarantee that they're going to try to do some PR spin regarding this particular movie series, whatever they're coming out with. They're going to do a PR spin that's going to try to get them looking as good as they publicly can, because they know what happened with Amazon's Rings of Power. They know the trash fire that happened with that show, and they don't want to repeat the same mistakes, I would almost guarantee. But even though they don't want to repeat the same mistakes, they do want to repeat the exact same messaging, because it's still Warner Bros. Discovery. Like, people should not give Warner Bros. Any benefit of the doubt. It says there are plenty of other areas of Tolkien works that Warner Bros. Discovery could adapt, including numerous stories published in the posthumous work, The Silmarillion, as well as the stories included in the History of Middle-earth that was published by Tolkien's son, Christopher, in the years following his father's death. There is also Tolkien's Unfinished Tales. There is also a possibility that Peter Jackson's original The Lord of the Rings trilogy gets remade. For all of Jackson's attention to detail, that films are missing key moments from Tolkien's novels, including the Scouring of the Shire and Frodo's encounter with Tom Bombadil. Oh, well, you know what? I really don't think that Tom Bombadil is going to be put into the movies, because they don't see him as a necessary figure. They just see him as an enigmatic figure, so they really don't feel the need to put him into the movies, because he doesn't serve an overall plot purpose. He's kind of just one of those strange things that Frodo ends up meeting, and there's really no rhyme or reason to his existence other than he's the one who's been around since God knows forever at this point. So a lot of people have conspiracies about Tom Bombadil, and he's a highly talked about figure, but at the end of the day, for the overarching story, he really doesn't play a major part. So aside from saving Frodo, obviously that one point in time, which I guess some people could argue is a major point, but still, I just don't see for a movie adding, 30 to 40 minutes or even 20 to 30 minutes talking about Tom Bombadil is going to do anything for the overarching story. But I would love to see him in a live action film, of course, especially if he's done right. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.